Yeah, what did Oji, what did I do? What did I Oji, what did I do? That is the one that brings, they who bring Oji bring life. You know, Oji, coconut represents life. It represents continuity. It represents the connection between the past, the present, and the future. It represents our connection to our ancestors, to our spirits, to nature, to source, Nechuku, to all things in the universe. It's our way of communicating with the spirit world. It's our way of prayer. It's our way of coming in peace. It's our way of building friendship, of building cooperation, of blessings. You know, if you have Aji, you can make any prayer, any request in this universe to your chi, to your ancestors. You know, you can make any plea with Aji. Aji is a very sacred fruit, a very sacred source of nature that originates in Igbo land, that our ancestors and those before us saw fit, saw necessary, saw wise to use this as a way to commune with the spirit world. So I break Aji Ekelegi. I greet y'all. No, Ndewo. I greet y'all. Welcome. And welcome to DecolonialChi YouTube channel. Yes. Supposed to allow the Aji to break how it breaks, and it broke into 5 pieces. He said. Yes, this channel is to talk about Odinala. And for me, Odinala, and for me and my spirits, for us, Odinala is a political framework, it's a social framework, it's a spiritual framework, it's an economic framework. It's a framework that entails the whole universe, all the factions of the universe, all the structures of the universe, all the avenues of the universe. It's the way that my ancestors and my spirits made sense of the world. It's the things that they have carried on and left as a legacy so that we may continue to live for generations and generations. It's the wisdom, it's the knowledge, it's the lessons, it's the mistakes that have been made over time. Odinala is necessarily an anti-colonial spirituality, anti-colonial cosmology, and anti-colonial science, and anti-cis-heteropatriarchy, you know, an anti-domination, anti-oppression, you know, anti-imperialism, anti-capitalism, anti-ableism, anti all the different factions of colonialism that have been indoctrinated and imposed on us. You know, before the time of slavery, before the time of colonialism, you know, we believed in everyone has their chi. Everyone has their chi. Everyone has the right to self-determination, to autonomous behavior, autonomous actions, you know, and we come together as a community, as a collective, to make decisions for the things that affect us as a collective. But we all go back to our chi. We all go back to our autonomous nature. You know, one person, one thing can't come and try to dominate another person's chi. And our chi is our spirit, our spirits, our forces that we make contracts with, that we make oaths with before we come into this world. It's our, what some people call our guardian angel. It's our God, it's our spirit, it's our forces, it's your higher being, it's your lower being, it's your double, you know, it's you in the other world. And so Odinala, my spirits have witnessed is, you know, has been colonized, you know, and the main barrier between Odinala and the revolutionary capacity of Odinala, an Igbo culture and tradition, and connecting to all African indigenous traditions, you know, because before there was Igbo, we were something. we had names, we had clans, we had villages, we had groups, we had our chi, we had our ancestors. And so we go far back to our source, to the universe, whichever way that, based on the land, that we make sense of the world. You know, Odinala means in the land, of the land, you know, because we believe that we come from the land. Our land is connected to who we are. You know, without land, who are we? Without nature, without the soil, without Nala, without the water, without the wind, without fire, without the sun, without the moon, without the trees, without the grass, without all mountains, all of these things in nature, we all believe that it has a chi, it has a spirit, it has energy, and it's a living energy that keeps living, growing, changing, adapting, transforming, just as nature is. And so Odinala is a commitment to change, it's a commitment to transformation, it's a commitment to curiosity, to go deeper, to ask more questions, to derive wisdom from the world around us. So many Igbo proverbs and Black proverbs, African proverbs, sayings come from nature by watching nature, by seeing how the ants move, how the termites move, seeing how the whales swim, seeing how the lions move, seeing how the monkeys move. How do they interact? How do the trees grow? How do the trees communicate? What is their underground systems? How can we learn from those things? Because those are our ancestors. We believe in Eke, Oye, Afor, Nkwo, which also represents the cardinal signs, which also represents the different forces of nature, the different elements of nature: earth, wind, fire, water. And so we recognize that in us is nature, in us is water, in us is the soil, the dirt, the sand, in us is the sun, fire, in us is the air, wind. We come from birds, we come from trees, we come from ants, we come from termites, We come from so many things in the universe, so many things that were here before what we know as Madu, humans. And humans are relatively new. We're relatively new and we're still learning, which is why we have such a high reverence for the nature around us, the earth around us, the universe around us. We connect so deeply to the moon because that's our star that connects us to the rest of the solar system, the rest of the universe, which our ancestors recognized. That life didn't just begin on this earth. There's other life out there. There's other spirits out there. There's other things that we're connected to. And we understand that what we do here on this earth has an impact, has vibrating impact on the rest of the world. And so we are at a volatile time in the world. We're at a volatile time in the world, a heightened time of fascism, heightened time of fascism, of economic turmoil, of political turmoil, of social destruction, of political destruction on every level of society. And so my ancestors and my spirits called me home to get deeper in alignment with our traditions, our values, our principles, to live out my destinies, to live out my truth, and connect to those who our spirits align and our spirits connect. And so on this channel, I'll be sharing a lot of history. I'm a historian, we're archivists, we're creators, we're culture keepers. So sharing a lot of stories, a lot of histories, a lot of political history. What happened to our people? How did we resist? What happened to our spirits? What was the spiritual resistance that occurred? How did we use the forces of nature to resist colonialism and slavery? How are we still resisting and fighting back today? Odinala has been so healing to me. It's been so healing to me. It's been so healing to me to come back home, to know who and what I am, to know where I come from, and to be on the journey to connect all the different broken pieces, all the fractured pieces of my lineages as a result of colonialism and slavery and cis-heteropatriarchy and ableism and all these different offshoots of colonialism. Colorism, fat phobia. There are so many systems of oppression that stem from colonialism, that stem from whiteness, that stem from anti-Blackness. And we're in a journey to combat those things, to fight those things, because we believe that the spiritual war has already been won. You can't fight water. How do you fight water? Do you punch it? Do you slap it? Do you step on it? Can you step on water? I mean, some folks can walk on water, but how many? Because the water can drown you. The soil can eat you. It can swallow you. The mountain can erupt and burn you. The wind can carry you. You know, we are part of nature, but when we start to think that we're above nature, that we can dominate nature, you know, a lot of ideologies that come from the European Christian sense of world, you know, especially in their Bible, where they talk about man was brought here to dominate the earth, to dominate all things. That's where they got it wrong. That's where they got it fucked up. You know, our ancestors understood that there's a relationship, there's a give and take relationship between us and the things around us. Everything in life is an exchange. Everything in life is a give and take. Everything in life is about mutuality. And mutuality doesn't mean sameness. It doesn't mean a dollar for a dollar, you know. It's what we have to give and what we have to offer. Even the concept of the first, you know, there's a lot of mythologies around the Igbo market, you know, and there's a mythology that says, you know, there was this woman who had an excess amount of yam. Her chi deposited in her the ability to grow yam, so much yam, prosperous yam. She had so much yam. She was so secure, you know, and that was what her chi deposited her with, that gift of being able to grow yam. And so with the excess, she took it out to a common place in the village and started to give it out and also exchange things with other folks. And then from there was a market, you know, because we believe in abundance. We don't believe in scarcity. We believe that there's enough to go around, that land is abundant. Land is abundant. Nature is abundant. The universe is abundant. And so we don't need to fight over resources. We don't need to fight over scarcity. You know, when we have issues, when we have mass death, when we have things that are going on such a grand level, our ancestors will ask questions. What is going on? What happened? Do we need to create balance? Do we need to create some harmony? You know, we go to ask questions. We don't just see things happening all around us and don't do anything about it. Like I said, Odinala is a revolutionary science. It's something where you ask questions and you receive answers. It's something that you research, you inquire, you spend time with. You know, it's about finding solutions to our problems. It's about healing. You know, some folks have the gift, you know, their chi, their agu comes to them and shares with them all different types of cures, shares with them all different types of plants, of rocks, of dirt, of waters, of incantations, of invocations, of recipes, of how to put things together to heal people. You know, we believe in healing. We believe that anything that we find in ourselves, we can find in nature to heal us. We are old. We are ancient. We go back to the source. We go back to the source. We refuse mass death. We refuse genocide. 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 And so, yes, this is just an introduction video about a little about what we'll be talking about on this channel. You know, also want to resurrect a lot of trans and queer Igbo history and traditions. You know, we call it today trans, queer, LGBTQIA, but in our indigenous context, we have many names, many titles, many societies, many groupings, many ways of expressing and knowing ourselves, you know, before these systems of colonialism and slavery and cis heteropatriarchy came, in which we had to fight back and create labels to find community, you know. But we move beyond the flesh. We move beyond gender, sexuality, you know, or lack thereof, sexuality or gender. You know, we see spirit, we experience spirit before we experience the body, the flesh, and we feel more of being in the spiritual than we are in the body. You know, colonialism brought a lot of body politics, a lot of making sense of the world by just the physical, by what you just see, you know, which in itself is an ableist ideology, right? Because for us, sight is beyond the physical. It's not something that is only accessible with the different parts of your body. It's something that is inside of you, something that is internal. It's something that is deep. It's something that connects us deep, you know? Trees communicate. Trees have whole ecosystems that span across the world, under the oceans, under the rivers, under the water. you know, through the dirt, through the soil. They communicate from miles, hundreds and millions of miles away from each other. They communicate, and so too can we, not just through one medium or one way or one mode. Ekalegi. We're really excited to be here. This has been a long time coming, to just share what's on our mind, what's on our spirit, you know, and yeah,